life.
Even you guys talking about it now, admitting that you stayed up all night and cried in the parking lot. Like, you're not.
Oh, there was lots of parking lot crying. I didn't realize that was postpartum either. I thought that's what you did as a mother. Like, all my friends were crying in the parking lot too.
Those are small things, but if you give people the space to talk about them and talk about it and treat it and not just, over medicate or whatever, then maybe it can get better. At least, and you can prevent those things from happening and recognize when it happens.
Yeah.
It's one of those things I feel like you guys said, you're not recognizing that it's happening to you. And in this case, it's so sad because I read that she admitted herself to the hospital.
Everybody was sounding the alarm.
On New Year's Day because she was writing it down because she knew these things were happening to her and she still couldn't control it. And so to me, less than like premeditated, horrible, evil person, it's more just like desperate for help, really. Like she had asked for help in every way that she knew how to ask for help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And her family, right? Everybody
and her family asked for help. And there was just
right. At what point
everybody failed her at every
At what point do we say
system
not
set up to help her?
Like, right. At what point do we determine that she needed inpatient treatment? At what point did it say, like, hey girl, we need you need separation from this. Like, you need some time away. Like, we need some time where you're going to be away from the kids, you get a moment, plus we're going to work on the meds. And,
therapy and
meds, they don't just instantly start working. If you have ever been placed on a depression or anxiety medicine, they will tell you real quick it takes at least 30 to 45 days for it to even get in your system. Some drugs take 3 weeks for you to even feel an effect of it. Yeah. And so it's not an immediate thing. So if I'm feeling feelings like that, it's not going to go away tomorrow because I popped the pill.
No. And so, what does it say about the system that it failed someone?
Well,
there's a bunch of women
asking for help
who aren't even recognizing it.
Right.
So this person is saying, "System, help me, please help me," and nothing is happening because the system's not equipped to recognize or treat that kind of thing.
Which
is sad.
We're seeing an affluent white woman too, right, with health insurance. So like, imagine what's happening when you don't have health insurance, right? And you don't have maternity leave. Yeah. So she had maternity leave, and so when you think about it, she had every chance to for someone to step in.
If the system's not going to work on her,
it's not going to
work on anybody else.
Yeah.
What happens with something like this where maybe the medication or something made
psychosis
you do
is
it?
Temporary,
Can
right?
you get get away with a case or get away with a crime if that is present, or no?
Well, it all depends. I mean, there have been cases where postpartum depression and psychosis have been put forward as a defense and that not be the individual not be accepted as that.
Wow.
And so they're then still tried and convicted for the murder. Then there are individuals who go forward to trial and they're found, not guilty by reason of insanity, which does not mean, a lot of people think that means that you're just walking around out there, but it actually just means that you're going to a mental hospital.
Yeah.
And you're being treated indefinitely until the point that if you are ever deemed to be allowed to be released. Which I've seen that happen as well. So it's not where it's just like she's gonna get off.
Right.
I'd be interested in seeing whether or not they're successful on if they're permitted to present it as a defense, because that's not necessarily a given. But two, if they are successful on that defense, and then what that would mean for other women around the world. Because here in Horry County, I've seen a case where postpartum depression and psychosis was actually presented as a defense where the child actually did not die. A woman had placed her child in the trash can, and the child was later found and was still alive. They presented postpartum depression and psychosis as a defense. The jury did not accept that, and she was convicted. I want to say she either got 22 years or 25 years, and that child did not even die as a result. And so clearly there is
there's a prejudice against it, right?
There's a public, where people don't want to accept that
a mother would do that, right? Because we don't talk about it.
Not even just that they would, but that you'd be permitted to do so, right? That
gives you an out.
They call like it's some kind of pass.
You don't get this pass.
It's not like a real illness.
Or like you had a choice, right? That you had a choice in all this.
Well, and sometimes moms can work against you too. They can say, "Well, I had postpartum. I never would have done that." And they're
women are other women's worst nightmare,
right?
But it kind of opens up that discussion of why there's this issue with defenses of women, right? The same thing like batterers, like what's the, help me out. Battered wife syndrome, right? Like people don't want to accept that either.
That happens over there, right? Or you have women, and we see this in rape cases and molestation cases, is that like, I mean that happened to me, right? And I'm not a victim, so she's not a victim, right? Because if I have to accept that happened to you and you're a victim, then I would have to accept it. And I had it worse. That what happened to me, and I'm a victim, right? Yeah. So we have all this like weird psychology stuff at play, but it all comes down to we don't talk about it, right?
Yeah.
We don't talk about it,
or just acknowledge and accept how another woman is feeling, and not always make it a comparison thing,
right?
And more make it just like a.
It's not a
very much so.
You don't have to compare yourself to all the other moms, but your
let's
feelings are
focus
valid.
on this. Just on the situation, Well, as far as what's in the future for her, what do you guys predict?
I don't think there is a way to predict. I think we just have to watch how the pleadings kind of unfold, right? And what the prosecution is going to go forward with, and there's not a gag order in this case, which is good. So we'll see it unfold in motions and stuff like that. And
do you feel like she has sufficient evidence right now to show?
I mean, I think the sheer fact that she was going to a doctor, begging for help, raising the flag, they had her on all this medication, which I think the defense attorney, they are arguing that she was over-medicated, right? Because that is a defense in Massachusetts, which I think is brilliant on behalf of because we're not gonna roll the dice with it being iffy, but we're gonna, because we know that she was over-medicated. And it wasn't her fault, right? Somebody gave it to her. And they were all asking for help. I think that we're just gonna have to wait and see how it plays out.
If it can work in any case, I feel if they
It's
allow
this
her
one.
to bring
It's this
the
one,
defense. Yeah, and so
Set up.
it's
Set the
sad
precedent
that
for everybody.
it has to be like to this point where we see the flaws in the system. Not we, because I'm sure we've noticed them, but the patriarchy. And then if it can be an example for the criminal justice system too, if she can beat it. But it's sad that we had to get here before people really were wondering if that really is a defense. Was she really suffering from postpartum that made her do all this, or are some people out there going to say she's just a bad mom? It's crazy that that's even would be a question.
Do we have a trial for this or no? Because it just happened.
No, it just happened.
So we won't
I
get
hope
that
that
trial date for a while,
I hope they don't bring it, and that it's a learning experience for everyone involved.
Yeah.
Well, this was a long one, but so important, I feel like. So thank you, ladies, for sharing such personal stories with us. We will keep you updated on this case, as we try to do for all of the ones that we talk about on the Criminal Justice Report. If you have any questions or you want to reach out, we'd love to hear from you, even if it's just to say your story. Please, you can find us on justicelovely.com, our website, or we're on all your social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. We would love to hear from you as always. And thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next Tuesday. When life gets